Hey there, guys. What is going on? Sloppy here. Back with some more Minecraft morning coffee. And, yeah, I don't really have a name for this. If you have any suggestions, would love to hear. But yes, I'm drinking a lovely vanilla custard pie. That's the name of the coffee. It's an espresso pod. I'm a sucker for vanilla flavored things. Vanilla custard pie is an interesting coffee flavor, but it's not bad, you know? It's not bad. Anyway, welcome back to the channel. For you guys who are unfamiliar, this is sort of a more talkative type series. So I just kind of hang out and chat about a topic while we play some casual Minecraft. You know, somebody described this. They use it for ASMR, which is weird because I don't really think of my voice as soothing. But hey, man. Hi, person who does that. Look how weird the new iron texture is. I don't hate it. I kind of like it. I think it's you know what's off-putting to me? It's almost like stone, but it's like a little bit off. I don't know. I know it's not supposed to be like stone. It's just like, it's like a little bit different of a gray, it feels like. I don't know. But yeah, welcome back to the channel. And today we have an interesting topic because it's something... Well, I don't think it's controversial. But we have a little bit of mining down here, an opportunity to do some mining. That's not really what I want to do on camera because it's super boring. I just thought I'd show you guys. There's a big ravine down here. I'm gonna check this out later. But yeah, I want to get back up to the surface here. Back at the surface and feeling good. And yeah, I'm going to be sort of hustling and bustling around here. I want to find a few villagers to sort of put together. So you know what? I might not have enough iron to do that. I kind of wanted to like get a few in an area and maybe start, you know, making them do stuff, but we might not be able to do that. We're going to head this direction. I do want to find that sugarcane that we lost. Nothing happened. We just lost it, okay? Nobody asked questions. I should probably bookmark where this area is. There we go. Yeah, that works. We're gonna head this way, see if we can find that stuff I lost last episode. Completely, it was nobody's fault. It just got lost. I wouldn't question it or go back and look. Anyway, yeah, today I wanted to talk about something that was bugging me. I just watched this TV show that has been quite popular on Netflix. I'm not really a true crime person. Nothing really appeals me too much about like learning about really bad crimes that have occurred. Just not something I care about. You know, I don't really want to know about the worst of humanity. I am fascinated with history. But like specific serial killers and stuff, I just don't find very fascinating. And so there was 2 documentaries on Netflix that were recently really popular. I know true crime has been like a really big podcast thing for a while. Is this the ravine I fell down? I have no idea where I fell. That's also an issue here. I know true crime has been quite a big thing in the podcast world for a while. And I just... Oh, there's sugarcane. Okay. We're going to go grab that. It's important. I know true crime has been a big thing in the podcast world, and now it's made it to, like, documentaries and stuff. So there was 2 on Netflix, and my girlfriend, I guess unfortunately for me because I don't like them, she really likes watching the true crime, you know, docu-series or whatever you call them. And so she was watching both of them, so I kind of caught them because... well, if I'm being honest, I finished my book and my new one was delayed in the mail. So usually I just sit there and I read, but my books weren't here. Boy, I'm sounding older and older with every sentence. So anyway, I watched these 2. One of them was about the Night Stalker, who was this terrifying individual in LA in the 70s, 80s. I don't know. He was a really bad serial killer. And, yeah, it was kind of a weird series. They walk this fine line where I'm torn because it kind of feels at some point like you're not celebrating what he did. It just feels like a lot of these true crime documentaries, they're made so much for entertainment's sake that I just feel like we lose sight of, like, we shouldn't necessarily forget the bad things that happen in our human history, but we also maybe shouldn't celebrate them for entertainment. Does that make sense? Maybe I'm completely missing the mark, and if I am, let me know if you're a true crime aficionado. I just feel like there's just sort of something weird about, like, using what this guy did as, like, a television series. And not, like, in a way that's, I don't know. It just feels weird to me. But that one, whatever. He was a serial killer who was really strange and bizarre, and whatever. That happened. They had the cops who caught him, so it was kind of more of a traditional, like, drama about how they caught him. Also, you know, it was fine. It was fine. The one I really had an issue with, though, was the second one she watched, which was really popular. Oh, hello. What is this generation, man? This is crazy cool. The other one she watched was a documentary about a Canadian girl who went missing a while back. Her name was Elisa Lam. It happened at the Cecil Hotel, and I kind of vaguely remember it from the news. It was kind of a big deal because she was Canadian up here. I mean, it was all over the news everywhere, but it was also just kind of around because it was this Canadian who went missing in LA, and it became this international story, really. And spoilers, if you haven't watched the Cecil Hotel thing, major spoilers I'm about to give. Basically, she was, I guess, severely bipolar, and basically had a really bad manic episode and ended up drowning after climbing in a water tank on top of the hotel. And, you know, that's a sad story. But if you wanted to tell that story, and it was kind of wrapped up in this weird package because the place it happened at was this place called the Cecil Hotel, which is kind of like this notoriously bad place in LA. It's right in the middle of Skid Row. A lot of really bad things have happened there over the centuries, over the decades. You know, there's been a lot of murders there. It's not a good place. So there was kind of this mystery around what happened to this girl. And finally they found out, and that's what had happened. But it became kind of this internet mystery. There was a lot of internet detectives. They called them internet sleuths in the show. And you would think, as I describe it, this might be a documentary about, you know, mental health and how we should handle it as a society. But it's not at all. If that had been the message, I think I would have felt a lot better about it. You know, this was a girl who had a really severe mental breakdown. I forgot to bring a bed. Oh boy. This was a woman who had a severe mental breakdown, and, you know, it ended up unfortunately costing her her life. And I just feel like, well, let me explain a little bit more, because the documentary, instead of sort of addressing that, the documentary was really about the investigation into her disappearance, which had a lot of, like, weird things about it, but at the same time, kind of nothing about it. Like, there was some weird stuff. You know, a 21-year-old, I think she was, going missing at a hotel known for crime is pretty suspicious, but a second thing that happened was the internet, YouTubers and all these people started looking into this case themselves. And there was quite a few people they used on the show who they addressed as YouTubers, and one of them is Internet Sleuth, which I guess is a title. This Internet Sleuth and this YouTuber decided that the LAPD is bad at their job and to investigate it themselves. Okay, a little bit weird. And basically, roundabout way, this random musician who happened to stay at the hotel a year before this girl, basically got harassed online to the point that he tried to kill himself and he stopped making music altogether. Which is pretty grim, you know? It's pretty grim when I put it like that. And you think maybe if you weren't going to make this documentary for the mental health aspect and try and bring some light about, you know, maybe we should end the stigma and, you know, look out for signs of manic episodes and, you know, overall treatment of mental health, you think maybe they would use this documentary to sort of highlight, hey, the things you do and say online can ruin somebody's life. You know, if you say a random musician is a murderer and you convince hundreds of thousands of people to harass him, you know, that could be pretty destructive. But they didn't do that. There's not much over here. I'm going to head back to base and continue. So anyway, I just started boating around, found some turtles over here. Yeah, I just thought the documentary was really weird because it could have been about very real things, and instead it focused on this conspiracy theory that didn't exist. You know, what happened to her was really tragic, and what the internet did to this poor Mexican guy was really, really tragic. And instead of sort of talking about that, they just didn't, you know? And I just thought that was really weird and kind of sad because, you know, it could have been sort of a moment that you could appreciate something. I don't know. But yeah, the true crime thing, I just find very bizarre. I get it. I quite liked the show Criminal Minds back in the day. And I know a lot of those were based off of real people and real killers. Yeah, I don't know. Entertainment's a weird thing. I don't know. I thought the same thing about reality shows. I don't really get it. But hey, man, if people are happy, then they're happy. I just kind of wish in this specific case it was like more. This is gonna sound really, really old man-ish, but like more responsibly made. Like the way they presented it all was very bizarre. There's this guy, one person in particular I had a big issue with. He called himself an internet sleuth. He was this guy who had taken it upon himself to try and solve this case. And he was a weird little person. And, like, after it had all been said and done, he paid someone to go visit the girl's grave so he could see it with his own eyes. Like, he gave money to a human to go to the grave of a girl that he didn't know so that he could see it. They also, the YouTubers and stuff, like, went to the hotel and, like, took photos where stuff happened. It was all very strange. And it just felt like maybe this should be about how, like, weird the internet has gotten and destructive it can be. And the thing that really irked me is they did an interview with this musician who had been targeted and harassed. And he was so sad. And it was so sad. His whole story was really sad, and he was talking about it. And I just wanted them to turn to the internet sleuth and the YouTuber, just say, hey, would you guys, like to say anything to this guy's life that you just ruined? And they never did. And I just thought that was disappointing. It would have been nice to see some accountability. But maybe I'm just an old man. I don't know. But yeah, that one just rubbed me the wrong way. The Cecil Hotel, which is, it's kind of a shame because the actual hotel itself would make a fascinating documentary. I think the hotel has had like a really weird past, and it could have been an interesting documentary on Skid Row and the issue with homelessness in LA. That's another thing it could have been about, because that was this weird subplot where that they kind of talked about, like, oh, there's a lot of homeless people in this area, a lot of crime. And it's like, all right, then let's discuss that, Maybe that could be a worthwhile thing to bring up. But no, it just centered on this weird conspiracy around this girl. When in reality, it was just this really unfortunate situation that happened. And also, the documentary made the LAPD look out to be really incompetent, which, I don't know if they are or they aren't, but yeah. Yeah. So, I don't really have much else to say about true crime. I was more just really annoyed at this one documentary. I mean, if that's what you enjoy, to each their own. I like watching sports. I get why some people don't, but that's what I enjoy. Yeah, this was, that was a good little walk around. There's a desert close by, which is really nice too. Deserts are super handy. I did notice we do have 2 cows as well. We should be putting those to work. So let's do one of those. Let's get a bunch of fences and some fence gates. Maybe just one. One's fine. And I think I had some wheat left. I do. So, okay, where do I want to put this? I need to rescue that guy. There was another one around though, right? Am I crazy? Am I crazy? Wasn't there a cow back here? Okay. Maybe not. This seems fine though. I can always move these guys, it's just a little starter spot. Yeah, so let's do one of these. You know what I did start watching recently? So one of my favorite shows ever, let's talk about a good show to to round this out. One of my favorite shows ever was Star Trek: The Next Generation. Just a wonderful show, just a really one of the best ever, I think. And so I was really excited when they announced the new Star Trek Discovery, but also a bit weary because anytime they remake a really good show, you can probably be a little weary of it. But anyway, so Star Trek Discovery's not for me. I think the people who make it, well, you know what? I don't know. Maybe it's a network thing. I don't know, but just not for me. Doesn't feel at all like The Next Generation. But I did start watching Seth MacFarlane, of all people, who I don't want to say had a big part in my childhood, but I definitely watched a lot of Family Guy when I was a kid. He has a space show called Orville, which is very Star Trek-y. Very, very Star Trek-y, and I kind of love it. So, yeah, I started watching that, and I'm pretty excited about it. So, yeah, if you guys are Next Generation fans and haven't given it a try, got a lot of those vibes. That's all I'll say. Got a lot of those vibes. It's got a little bit of, like, stupid humor thrown in, but after the first few episodes, it actually kind of goes away, which is nice. The other thing that's kind of crazy about it, some of the guest stars that Seth MacFarlane gets for it, are straight up wild. Liam Neeson, sort of a spoiler. You don't know who he is in the show, or if it's even a big role. I don't know. Casual, gosh. Liam Neeson shows up as a guest star. Charlize Theron, Norm Macdonald. Sort of fun, Canadian. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Anyway, that's completely unrelated to the topic today. I just wanted to end on something a little bit more positive. But I'd love to know what you guys think of what I discussed today. I know we didn't get much done in this episode, but that's sort of the vibe of this series. I'm also still, I feel like, in the starting stages, so you know how it is. You gotta ease into it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in those comments down below. I'd love to hear. Subscribe for more, all that jazz. And I will see you guys in the next one. Ciao.